In these problems, we are calculating the volumes and the surface areas of spheres. And we've got our formulas right here. And if you don't know these formulas off the top of your head, if you don't have them memorized, just look them up. They're on the internet, easy to find. This first problem here says, find the volume of a sphere with the radius of 4 millimeters. So volume of a sphere formula is right here. It's 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. And the cubed should be no surprise. This is a volume formula, and volume is cubic. So let's go ahead and plug these in. So volume equals 4/3 times pi times our radius is 4 millimeters, so 4 cubed. And let's just go ahead and grab a calculator and figure out the answer here. So 4 times 4 times 4, that's 64. So that's 4 cubed. And then times pi. And then times, let's multiply by 4 and divide by 3 to get our 4/3. So we get 268. Well, let's take it to a tenth. 268.1. Whoa. And our units here are millimeters. And since this is volume, they should be cubic millimeters. All right, let's look at another one. This one says a sphere has a volume of 2,304 pi millimeters, cubic millimeters, and find the radius. So here we have this number and we're searching for this number. So we're going to do this one backwards. So we'll plug this in for V, 2,304 pi. And then we've got our 4/3 times pi times the radius squared. Sorry, radius cubed. The first thing I notice is that there's a pi on both sides. So I could simply divide each side by pi, and the pi's would disappear. So that's a good first thing to do to simplify. So we have 2304 equals 4/3 times the radius cubed. I want to get this r cubed alone, and it's got a 4/3 multiplied by it, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by 3/4. What that does over here is basically all of that cancels, so it goes away. And over here we multiply by 3/4. Let's go ahead and calculate this number on the left. So that's 2,304 times 3 divided by 4. That gives us our multiply by 3/4. So that's 1728. So 1728 equals r cubed. And then to solve for r, we just take the cube root of both sides. So we need the cube root of 1728. And yeah, I had my inverse on. So here's our cube root. So I can just press that and take the third root, and we've got 12. Okay. So r is 12. The units are millimeters. And the radius is just a measure of length. So this is just plain old millimeters. All right, let's do a couple more. This next one deals with surface area. It says find the surface area of a sphere that has a diameter of 16 centimeters and express your answer in terms of pi. Well, first of all, this is diameter. We deal with radius in these formulas, so let's just write that down so we don't make a mistake. Radius equals 8. And then let's just go look at that formula again. The surface area of a sphere is 4 times pi times the radius squared. So we're going to have 4 times pi times 8 squared. And we won't calculate this pi. We're going to leave it there because we want it in terms of pi. So really, 8 squared is 64. And then we've got times 4. And then we've got pi. And I think 64 times 4 is 256. So our answer here is just 256 pi centimeters. And then this is area, so it's centimeters squared. All right, let's try one more. This one says a sphere has a volume of 2,304 pi cubic inches. That sounds familiar. Find the surface area. So in this one, we're moving between volume and surface area. You know, the thing these two formulas have in common is the radius. So if you started with a volume and you want to get a surface area, you need to calculate the radius from that volume. this happens to be the problem we just did, this 2,304 pi. We found the radius here. We found it to be 12. So we'll just go ahead and use that. Our radius is 12. And once we've got the radius, calculating the surface area is not that big a deal. It's 4 times pi times the radius squared. So we're going to have 4 times 144 times pi. And that is 1809.6, let's say. And this is inches. And we just figured surface area, so this is square inches. So that is a little bit of work with volume and surface area of spheres.